Welcome to issue 289 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Bill, the board game lawyer, and joining me this evening is Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Bill, it's like we were just hanging out last night.
That's true. Yeah. It was a good time.
Delight to see you again.
Yeah. Same here. And we also were hanging out last night with our buddy Steve. And Steve's with us tonight. How you doing, Steve?
Hello, Bill. How you been?
Doing good.
I'm glad to see you're up from the lower levels.
Thank you for inviting me up and giving me some, I guess, fresh air.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Well, or just call it air, Bill.
Air.
Thank you for the air, gentlemen. And there's someone else who has snuck into the lair this evening, and it is a masked hero. It is, in fact, the masked hero, Ryan. How you doing tonight, Ryan?
I'm doing good. I'm reporting here from Minnesota. I didn't want to leave after Con of Heroes because I was going to stay till Con in Yellow. Didn't want to go home. And of course, here in Minnesota, of course, while means for a spell.
Oh, okay.
That was a little bit of a source of contention.
Yeah.
Recently,
Is it really? It's not.
A little bit.
It's not in my mind.
It is. It is.
There is no contention about that in my mind.
Yeah, you're wrong, Daniel.
Wow.
Welcome. You know, the problem here is Ryan goes by the Masked Hero.
Yeah. I should change it to the Masked Minion or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But he is who he is, right?
All right.
And we take them all in. It's fine.
So the real question is, who is he? Because he was on with us like a long time ago. Back in issue 183 in August of 2023. So it's been a spell. It's been a while since you were here, and some things have changed for you. Why don't you tell the people who you are and what you're doing out there?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Ironically, I was already working on this at the time, but I just took forever. In the last 2 years, I have started a YouTube channel, The Masked Hero, where I originally was just doing Can Thor Beat All the Villains? And I discovered that takes too long and I fell out of the algorithm too easily. So I just started making a bunch of other content. New player guides is the main thing, top 10 lists, and then just random think pieces. But yeah, whenever I can, I try to put together a video proving that Thor can defeat every villain in the game.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a great channel. People should go and definitely check it out.
Who's next in the queue after Thor?
To get on top of that algorithm, all you have to do is like put a picture of Arwen from Lord of the Rings card art. You're fine.
The next one might be, can Groot defeat every villain in the game?
Oh my goodness.
Again, you might lose
love
the
it.
algorithm there.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to watch that.
So,
But when I'm not making YouTube content, I do often think to myself out loud.
What's
I just
that?
want to know, Daniel, what's on your mind?
well, that's a great question. Partly I feel I haven't been spoiled enough in my life, and I remember last week. I'm kind of wondering where Jonah is.
Here I am. Hello.
Hey, you made it.
Hey.
Back from the future.
I'm back from the past. No,
From
that's not how that
ahead,
goes, right?
not back. Forward
No.
from the past? Something like that. Hey, you made it. You made it.
Last week, yesterday or something. What? I'm confused.
Well, Jonah has joined us, and something happened to Daniel in the transition of that teleporting thing. I don't see him anymore.
That was Grizzly.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I can smell that ozone. That's Daniel when he teleports away. He's fine. He'll be back next weekend.
Okay. Good.
But Jonah's here. Jonah, welcome.
Hello.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. The lair does not smell quite as good as it did last week. I'll just say that right now. So, not sure why that is, but
It's Ryan.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Jonah is here because you brought spoilers again for the MCDC Con.
yeah. For those who don't know, we're having an event here in the DC area called MCDC. It's in October 24th to the 26th. I say for those who don't know, sadly we're sold out of tickets, and we have a long wait list. So if people are interested, sign up on our website to join the newsletter, and we'll sort of let you know when the next one is. But we're sold out for this event. But super excited to share some of the cards that we've been working on with y'all.
Yeah, last week we looked at Victor Von Doom and Doctor Doom, and there's a card that referenced the Doombot minion. So we have some Doombot minions we want. Now Bill and Ryan did not get a chance to look at those, so maybe we could be nice and let them read the cards.
Oh, fantastic! Cool.
Dude, how's that? Is that all right with you, Jonah?
You said Doombot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. Bill, do you wanna read our first spoiler we have for this? The Doombot minion?
Okay, let me take a look at it here, and it is the Doombot minion that has a scheme of 1 and attack of 1. He has 3 health. He's Latveria and a robot, and he has a forced response, or a forced interrupt. It says when Dr. Doom would take 3 or more damage from an attack, discard a copy of Doombot from play instead. And the special boost text says deal this card to yourself as a face-down encounter card. It has 1 special boost and 2 regular boost icons on the card.
Okay. And there's 3 of these in the set.
3 copies? Okay.
3 copies.
There are 3 copies, yeah.
So they're fake dooms. I like how you have to do 3 or more damage to them. Like, if you could do 1 or 2 damage to Dr. Doom and take the hits, but if you do a swinging web kick into Doom, it's really a Doombot. That's very interesting, I think. So.
Thematic to Doom, right? He takes the big hits with the Doombots and
with the Doombots, yeah.
Yep.
Now there's another really neat piece with these Doombots that I do not want to spoil. I think it'll be really cool for people to figure out when they get the cards at the con or when they do the print and play after the con. So I don't want to talk about that, but just know there's some cool other stuff going on.
Okay. I like the Doombots. It kind of reminds me of when I went to Universal Studios many years ago, and they had the Doom ride. I don't know if you guys ever been on that or not, but they have in the queue in the line as you're walking through, you're walking past all these Doombots, and you just kind of get used to them being there, and then eventually, and I don't want to spoil anything if that's still the case, but sorry. Eventually, Dr. Doom, somebody's dressed up like Dr. Doom, and he kind of lurches out at you and kind of scares you a little bit there. So I just remember that was a pretty cool little touch on the Doombot thing. But maybe that's somehow wrapped up into this scenario. I don't know. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I don't even want to make speculations because I feel like I make a speculation and it's gonna actually that's what happens in the encounter set.
Feel free. I will neither confirm nor deny. So
very Doom-like.
Yeah. Well, and anybody listening this week heard last week, so they have some ideas. But we're not going to spoil all the cards in this set. There's going to be a few that you don't see. But we're going to do one more, and we're going to let our masked hero read the side scheme.
Absolutely. So we've got a side scheme here called Doom War, and it comes in with 2 threat, and it has hinder 1 per player. And then it has a when revealed of in player order, each player not engaged with a Doombot finds and reveals a Doombot not engaged with another player. If any player cannot, they find Dr. Doom and reveal him. Dr. Doom and each Doombot in play attack the villain. Wow. And then it's got the crisis icon. Is that correct? Yeah, crisis icon. I always forget the names of the icons. I'm just like the one with the exclamation point.
Yeah.
And then it's got 2 boost icons on it. But yeah, not knowing the full context of the scenario, it's like Dr. Doom comes into play and then attacks the villain. What's going on?
I guess I was just kind of assuming that Dr. Doom was the villain and this was the encounter set, but this is actually a modular set, right?
You've captured my attention.
Okay,
there's a Dr. Doom minion in the modular set. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, because it's like attack the villain. I'm like, wasn't the villain Dr. Doom? But no, it's the modular set. So, spoilers. You just get a glimpse. So
Jonah, let's pretend nobody has a Doombot in front of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody there's 3 Doom bots in the encounter set, at least that we know
Yep.
of.
Oh,
And then we're playing a 4-player game. Okay.
Yep.
So we put a Doom bot, we go dig out, right? Fine. So we're looking everywhere but like face down encounter cards that have been dealt to people and stuff.
Correct.
So we find 3 Doom bots. Bill gets one, Ryan gets one, I get one. And then you have to get Dr. Doom and reveal him.
Yep.
Then Dr. Doom and all the Doom bots attack the villain.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. That's
like
exactly
the Dr.
right.
Doom and each Doom bot in play attacks the villain. That happens no matter what the rest of the card is doing, right?
Yeah, you resolve as much of the effect as you can. So if Doom's in play, he'll attack. If not, the Doom bots will attack the villain.
Right.
Wow.
And the
And I
theme
think
here
that-
is what Doom is the only villain worth. The rest of that other villain's not worth. So he's got to take him down for you.
I
Right?
mean, it's
So-
it's
Cool.
yeah, it's that. It's also like Doom doesn't work for anybody else. He's out for
Mhm.
himself. He's going to do his own thing, and sometimes there'll be some infighting as somebody else gets attacked from what he's doing. So
nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense. Doom's Ascension. So that's the name of the modular set.
Yep.
Cool.
So the villain will end up taking 3 hits of a 1 from the Doom bots, and then Doom is like 2 attack villainous or something like that. So
Yeah.
this could put out quite a bit of damage. So that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
I think it's a like we liked the thematics of Doom not being he's a card type minion, but he's not a minion, right? In our minds, at least, So.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like it. Well, those are our 2 spoilers for this week, and we are done. We're gonna just leave something to the imagination, or for folks. Jonah, this was great. Thanks for bringing these to us both weeks.
Yeah. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on, and I appreciate the chance to tease what we got in store for October. So
You're gonna have to save a game and play with me and Daniel at the con. So
it's a
with some
date.
Doom. Okay.
Yeah. And as somebody who's not going, but who dearly loves the community, thank you for all of your contributions and your hard work for this to support the community. I absolutely really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and excited to share this with everybody. So as I said last week, this will all be print and play available on our website after the event. So anybody who can't make it out or didn't get a ticket can print it. We'll put a file up where you can print the cards yourself.
Oh, that's
Cool.
great.
Cool.
Love it.
All right, I gotta teleport on out of here, guys. It's been great.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks,
having
Jonah.
me on.
All right. See you, man.
All right.
Bye.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Take care. Now Daniel's coming back, right? Oh man.
I think he went to bed.
We'll look for him later. I don't want to
Yeah,
worry
I
about
guess.
that now. Yeah. All right. Well, that was great. Let's. We're not here just for Doom's Ascension. We're other clandestine stuff because we're going to talk about the Hellfire modular set. And Bill, you're going to talk to us all about that. But we have done a tiny bit of Hellfire already with our masked hero. Way back, like I said, way back in 183, when Ryan talked to us about Shadowcat and the White Queen. That was like a long time ago, 100 shows ago. So yeah, so if people want to listen, they can go back and they can listen to that. But Bill's going to give us a brief history of the Hellfire Club. He's going to talk about Sebastian Shaw. We're going to look at some of these cards that we get in the set. So why don't you do it, Bill?
All
Go
right,
for it.
I'll take it away. Yeah. So again, that was 183, Shadow of the Past. I did go back and listen to that episode prior to this one, and Ryan did a great job. Mainly, it revolved around the Emma Frost character, the White Queen, because she was fittingly Shadowcat's nemesis. Ryan also mentioned that episode, the issue 129 of the X-Men, which is kind of a critical issue of the X-Men as it relates to the Hellfire Club, because it was both the origin of Shadowcat, and then the very next issue was the origin of Dazzler, which makes sense because both the X-Men and the Hellfire are on a recruiting spree. And so they, at this time, introduced these 2 powerful young mutants that would have a lasting impact on Marvel Comics going forward, and they would be highly sought after. But the Hellfire Club in that particular issue was just lightly touched on, so I thought we could just rewind briefly to talk about the Hellfire Club. After all, this modular is named Hellfire.
Yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
yeah, so the Hellfire Club had its origin in England back in the 1760s. And the purpose of the club is where these elite members of British society would come together in pursuit of pleasures, often that defied moral standards of the time. And so there's nothing new here, really. The same kind of thing happens all around the world today. Elite members of society defying moral standards, getting away with criminal behaviors. The only difference being that back in the 1700s, they dressed a whole lot more fancy, right? So, yeah. But speaking of fancy dress, if we flash forward 200 years to the 1970s, where we're introduced to the modern rendering of the Hellfire Club, notable members have kept this style of this 18th century dress during their meetings. In fact, it tends to be their preferred style of dress all the time. Now, some things that you might want to think about, Steve, like maybe even Daniel, when you have your recordings, maybe you could do something similar. Put on your powdered wigs, get out your buckle shoes, and kind of dress
ruffles.
the part.
Yes, I need
more ruffles. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
you guys can try that out. But so anyway, the Hellfire had its origin in England, but they would quickly spread. Within a decade, they would show up in New York, and they would be established in the Americas by the wealthy merchant Sir Patrick Clemens and his mistress, the renowned actress Diana Knight. And they were the first Black King and Black Queen. Now, ironically, or maybe not so ironically, they would establish their headquarters in an old abandoned church that would later become the site of the Hellfire Mansion, located in Manhattan just blocks away from the Avengers Mansion. Flash forward again to the 1970s and early 1980s, the heyday of Chris Claremont's X-Men run. We see that the X-Men are definitely at odds with the Hellfire Club. The Hellfire Club would count among its members the wealthy, the powerful, the celebrated from all over the globe, and membership to the Hellfire Club would be by invitation only. So as far as the general public is concerned, as well as most of its members, it's just kind of a pompous, highfalutin, hoity-toity society that throws extravagant parties where members can unofficially meet to discuss matters of mutual interest, if you know what I mean. So you can imagine these politicians and these businessmen and women, deals that are struck during these outings. But for a moment, let's just kind of narrow our focus on the club's highest ranking members. And these are referred to as the inner circle. Now, those who belong to the inner circle hold positions named after chess pieces, and we learned that in the previous episode. And so these highest ranking members obviously would be represented by kings and queens, followed by bishops, knights, and the rooks are the pawn, and the pawns. The pawns are the nameless mercenaries. So it is possible for there to be two kings, a black king and a white king, for them to coexist, or a black queen and a white queen to coexist, etc., etc. But it nearly always turns into a power struggle, so it's usually just one at a time. So what typically happens when a king or queen gets displaced, the replacement takes on the rank using the opposite color. For example, when Sebastian Shaw deposed the most recent member, the White King, he became the Black King. And so this inner circle, then, is unknown to most of the members of the Hellfire Club. But it's really what's pulling the strings, it's what's in control. And they do this through power and dominance, along with great financial resources, highly advanced technology, and they couple this with extremely ruthless and powerful mutants, as well as a large body of well-trained mercenaries. And so the Hellfire Club is very much a match for the X-Men. In fact, it's a match for any organization in the entire world. So I could go on and on about the history of the Hellfire Club because it's been around for so long and all of its many members of its inner circle, but, we've only got so long.
Yeah, you don't want to give away our standing in the club, so.
Yeah, right. So, we don't want to give away too many secrets, right?
Too many of our personal secrets, yeah.
So, just as we are introduced to just a few in this particular module, maybe we can just do an overview of a couple of the members of the Hellfire Club. And that first one is Sebastian Shaw.
Okay. Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, yep. Sebastian Shaw. Have you seen X-Men First Class? So who is Sebastian Shaw? Well, he's the owner of Shaw Industries, which is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that he himself created. And like his father before him, he too would join the Hellfire Club. And he was invited by the White King, Edward Buckman, into the inner circle where he would become the Black Bishop. But Buckman was seeking to fund a Project Armageddon, which used sentinels to track down and eliminate mutants. And so obviously Shaw was a powerful mutant, so Buckman turned on him. In the attack, Shaw's girlfriend was killed, and so Shaw snapped. And then in league with Emma Frost, who we learned about before, the two of them, using her telepathic abilities, she got into the head of the White King, which forced him to kill many of the members of the inner circle and ultimately kill himself. And so Shaw then rose to the status of Black King, while Frost took the title of White King. And
Queen,
so,
White Queen.
yeah, the White Queen.
Sorry. Yeah.
Is that what I said? White Queen? Yeah.
No, you said White King.
White
Sorry.
King. So she was the White Queen, right? And then, so his ability, he has kinetic energy absorption. What does that mean? Well, he can absorb energy and metabolize it to enhance his own physical strength, speed, and stamina. So this makes him extremely difficult to defeat in battle. Every time you strike a blow against him, it just makes him stronger. And his power absorption is not just limited to kinetic energy, such as punches or projectiles, but he can also absorb any form of energy, like electrical or magical, to fuel his powers. But the kinetic energy is really what works best. Now,
a little like Bishop, a little bit that way.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he absorbs it, builds it up, and within himself, and then he can expend it. So without absorbing the energy, Shaw, he's just a mere ordinary strong person. But he works to keep his strength up to a superhuman level. So he'll do things intentionally to himself to maintain his strength. Yeah. So
Yeah, he might be a little bit of a masochist if you think about it.
Yeah.
In real life.
He's over there
It's like,
punching the wall.
hit me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like a baseball pitching machine that just keeps throwing baseballs at him.
Yeah, he just stands in front of it, hits him in the face.
It takes some hits, and he's like, "All right, I'm powered back up." Cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how he does it. And if you watched and I recently watched X-Men First Class, that's where Kevin Bacon, he took the grenade from the general and he allowed it to explode. He pulled the pin, and so he channeled all the energy of that grenade into himself, and then he turned around and he expended it by taking out the general.
Gotcha.
So if you try to attack him, it's just not going to work. It's just gonna make him stronger. So you have to use some unusual tactics to defeat him. You have to try to incapacitate him another way. That's why he's susceptible to psionic attacks and things like that. But he can also use this energy to regenerate. And just one more point about his ability, there was a point where he got a secondary mutation where now he could absorb ambient kinetic energy. So he doesn't have to stand in front of the pitching machine anymore. He just basically absorbs it from all the things around him. So he doesn't have to charge himself up anymore. So that's what I have on Sebastian Shaw. So would it make sense to look at his card to see if...
All right, before we look at the cards, let's talk about where we find these cards, because we can find the Hellfire module set in the back of the Magneto pack, Age of Apocalypse Wave. So this is one of those, it's not his nemesis, it's just the back of the pack. It has 5 total cards and 5 by title. So you get 5 unique cards out of this pack. Why don't we look at Shaw, and let's have our masked hero give him a read.
Sure. So Sebastian Shaw is a 1 scheme 2 attack minion with 5 health and the Hellfire trait. He has toughness and villainous. Love to see it. And the force response of after Sebastian Shaw is attacked, give him a face down boost card. He cannot be attacked again this phase. And 3 boost icons, which I think I would prefer to see as opposed to actually having to fight him.
Yeah. So
he's gruesome.
I think that's
really good. That's a reflection of his abilities pretty well.
Yeah, I think it is. It's an interesting way to show his abilities, because you're like, how do you do this sort of thing? But I think they really captured that pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's building up, right? He's taking shots. He's building up. So he comes into play with toughness. You got to deal with that. If you don't have piercing, you got to hit him once.
that gives him his face down boost card. You can't attack him again that phase.
Mm-hmm.
So you're better off like now it does say after he is attacked. So if you can do damage to him with a non-attack, like Army of Ants or Retaliate or something like that to pop the tough off, that doesn't trigger his force response, right? So it's small enough to where he's not able to notice the difference or charge up from it.
Yeah. If he gets bit by an ant, it's probably not going to charge his abilities. So.
Right.
Yeah,
Nicks himself shaving, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool because then so you attack him, the tough comes off, and then next round he attacks you with his villainous and that bonus boost card. So he's hitting for 2 and 2 boost.
Right.
Ooh. Yeah.
And depending upon how many boost cards, as we found out recently, Steve, big boosts are in the encounter deck. It could be pretty bad. So if you got standard 2 and you're playing expert and you've got cards that have 4 boost in there,
4 boost on them, you can power up this guy.
Yeah. So he's pretty powerful. I mean, he's a leader of a very powerful organization for quite some time, and so I like the way that they rendered him here in this card. I think it's pretty clever, actually.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't read as very powerful, but then when you stop to think about it, you're just like, oh, actually, wait. So then that means, oh yeah, he's actually much more. The first time I read him, I was like, oh, he seems kind of so-so. And then when you start to think about it, like, they don't make an attack that's naturally piercing 6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That doesn't exist probably, right? So.
Right, you have to do something with Wolverine, build him up, spend basically your whole turn probably attempting to knock him out.
Yeah, or you got to do the 2, right? Hit him to knock the tough, and the next turn hit him for 5. So you can't nickel and dime him with small attacks. Yeah.
So
it's cool.
I like the artwork too. It looks very intimidating, right? It's coming after you.
Yeah, the framing's nice. Now there is another unique minion in here, and I think Ryan, you might have some information on her.
Yes. So we have Celine. I believe her last name is Galileo. I think that's how you pronounce it, or Galileo. I don't know. But either way, yes. So she is a ancient mutant. She's actually, I think, 17,000 years old.
Woo!
But she has
she looks great for her age. Wow.
She looks really good for her age. And I have a feeling her mutant ability has something to do with that. But she does have her first appearance in 1983's New Mutants number 9, which is in the introduction of a character named Magma, who I assumed we had already seen her. She's not actually a character in our game, but she may or may not be a relative of Celine. But I think if you go back 17,000 years, we're all kind of related. I'm kind of related to Steve at that point. So it's probably not much of a stretch. But her ability is that she can drain energy from people like an energy vampire, essentially. And that's what gives her wonderful, youthful appearance. And I guess the one notable thing about her is she's been around this whole time, the last 40 years. But I would say her biggest storyline is probably Necrotia, where she uses her ability to reanimate stuff, because she also has like spells and stuff and reanimation. So she reanimates all of the mutants that were killed on Genosha. Nod back to issue 183 when I talked about this with Emma Frost. 16 million mutants, I think, get killed on Genosha. She makes all of them into zombies and then tries to absorb their souls to become a god. And, I'm not sure, but I don't think that plan actually worked out for her.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah, her plans, as powerful as she is, oftentimes fall flat, right?
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, that's too bad. That 16 million zombies feels like wow. Isn't there a Marvel Zombies show coming out soon? I wonder if she's in that.
Marvel Zombies, I don't think have anything to do with Necrotia.
Yeah, I think it's Scarlet Witch stuff. But okay. So she's a super powerful spellcaster, it sounds like. She can an energy vampire, and she has a card. Is that is that it? That's her big thing?
I would say, that's probably the gist of her is energy vampire, reanimation, tried to become a god, didn't work out.
I picked up on a couple other things, like whenever she attacks her victims, depending upon how long she's draining their energy, she could just turn them into dust. Where they no longer,
true, yeah,
they're just gone. Or if she just touches them for a little bit, not only does she drain their their life force, but she can also now influence their thinking, and she also captures their memories whenever she does that. But and as old as she is, she's learned a lot of tricks over time. So she's pretty formidable. In fact, from the reading that I did, it appears like some of the other in the inner circle don't trust her, like Sebastian and Emma Frost. They don't really trust her, but they kind of know how valuable she is because she is so powerful, and they're kind of forced into it. And then later on, whenever Shaw kind of retires from being the Black King, then she has her own inner circle that she runs. And so she's kind of on the outs, and then she kind of takes over on her own. But yeah, a lot of things that she learns over time: force fields, concussive blast, pyrokinetics, telepathy. All these things she gradually learns over time. Rapid healing, self-resurrection. Yeah, and she is considered immortal, if you want to throw that on top of it. So,
but if in comics, if you're around long enough, you just get whatever that they need for the storyline.
When I hear immortal, you know what it reminds me? 4 hit points.
Yes.
Let me read her card and let's see. Selene is a unique minion with 1 scheme, 1 attack, 4 hit points, Hellfire trait, quick strike. Okay, villainous. Okay, there we go. That's why our stats are only 1. Villainous. That's cool. Allies cannot attack Selene. Interesting. With a special boost, discard an ally you control. Foolish child, countless thousands have gone to the fire in my name. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the flavor win that Sebastian Shaw is.
Yeah, it's not. It's interesting. I mean, a quick strike villainous, that's cool. And then allies can't hit her back. What's the theme? Is she influencing their thoughts? Is that the... She has some power to control them, or
they're just gone. That's part of her origin, was all those 17,000 years ago when she was born, she drained the life from her mother. And then the village elders, they encouraged her family to kind of sacrifice themselves to her, so they would disappear. And then over time, 17,000 years, she's gone through all of the world powers. She had a lot of influence in Rome, but it seems like all the individuals that are around her start to disappear because of her need to continue to exist. So you're not going to attack her with just a regular old ally.
They're just not getting
they're
close
gone.
enough. All right.
They're gone.
Okay.
They're gone.
Okay. Just take it off. All right. I mean, she's an interesting, as a mechanical thing. So
yeah.
And I don't know if we have anybody else who's like allies cannot attack this person or limits you in that way, which is pretty cool.
We have like characters that can only attack villains, like Drax ally. He can only attack the villain, so he can't attack the ally. So he's like double nerfed here.
Yeah, yeah. He can't do it anyways. Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. All right. Well, we've got some other cards in this set, so let's take a look at these. Who's up? Is it Ryan? Your turn.
Yeah, sure. So we get, and actually this is coincidental because I already covered this probably in the last appearance, but
yeah, probably
got the Hellfire Pawn. It is a 1 scheme to attack minion with 3 health. The Hellfire trait has guard, patrol, and surge, and a brick of reminder text, and then the boost ability of put Hellfire Pawn into play engaged with you. So you're definitely going to have to deal with this in some form or fashion. And you're not touching this main scheme, and you're not touching the villain.
Yeah. He's tiny, but he surges. So awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Interesting that they just have 1 in there.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 5 cards in the set. So all these back of the packs have like a limit on the number. If this was like a 7 card set, I would think you'd have 2 more pawns, right? Like,
yeah.
Or as we like to call them, prawns.
Hellfire prawns.
Hellfire prawns. For some reason,
it's just fun.
Yeah. Okay. It's cool. Guard and patrol. You gotta get rid of him. He's in the way. Surges. He's gonna surge into something else, Bill. What is he gonna surge into?
He might surge into a treachery entitled Power and Decadence, which is, when revealed, give a villain a tough status card. Give the card to the villain as a face down boost card. And then the boost ability, once it gets shoved under, it says after this activation, the activating enemy activates against you again. Do not give him a boost card for this activation. So
it's
yeah,
it's quality.
tough card. Yeah, tough card, boost card, another attack with this treachery.
Yeah, it doesn't whiff because
No.
if it gets dealt as a boost naturally, you just give them a second activation. And if it gets dealt as an encounter card, they get a tough and it's going to be a boost card, right?
Yeah.
There's no way around it. It's so fun. Yeah.
I had to read this one 3 times to understand what it was doing the first time I saw it. I was like, wait, what do you do?
Right.
Does it ever go away? I think it goes away. It goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does go away.
After the activation.
Yeah, you get that extra activation out of them, which, okay, they don't get a boost card for their second activation, but you want to play Hellfire where you have the Goblin Glider, so the villain can activate like 3 times in one shot, or
oh my goodness.
or any of those. We played a game with this standard 2 cards where they're getting a boost to their attack. There's a lot of options here. Yeah.
In the modern day, we have just gotten Enchantress, and she has the ability to throw 2 random activations at you as an encounter card. You're just like, this really is no fun.
Yeah. Include this one in there. Really getting a lot of those then.
Oh, yeah. If the Hellfire Club comes to an Enchantress scenario, you might be in trouble.
Yeah.
Looking at the artwork, I guess Power and Decadence, it makes you really happy. It's a good time.
Yeah. It's comic art.
If you're the villain.
All this is comic art, so yeah.
It looks great. It's a nice looking set.
Yeah. Well, we have one more, and Bill, you only got to read one card. Do you want to do? You want to do the last card?
I certainly will. So it's it's a side scheme. The Inner Circle. The Inner Circle of the Hellfire Club uses its wealth and power to plot the course of mutant affairs in secret. When revealed, place 2 additional threat here for each Hellfire card in play, and it has an amplify icon on it. And it comes into play with 4 threat, plus the 2 additional for each Hellfire card in play, and it has 2 boost cards, or 2 boost icons.
Yeah, and just a point of rules, it's each card that has the Hellfire trait, not each card from the Hellfire modular.
Okay.
Right? Because the way that word Hellfire is, bolded and whatever in there, they're looking for cards like Hellfire Pawn or Sebastian Shaw, Celine, or White Queen. Those.
And White Queen is not a Hellfire card. I'm looking at it right now.
She's not a Hellfire card?
No.
Oh my goodness.
It's Elite and Psionic. I was like, does that include White Queen? It does not include White Queen.
Why would she not be Hellfire?
I don't know.
That's
how many times do we need to talk to the designers about White Queen?
Right? Yeah. Oh boy.
Maybe she's white. Maybe she's Hellfire while this card's in play.
She's confused.
Exactly.
Is the problem. She's confused.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just an amplify, right? That may or may not have a bunch of threat on it. And the amplify is good since both of the minions in the set are villainous, and and that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, it's just it could be in a solo game of 4 threat amplify, right? Because you might not have any other Hellfire cards out. It's interesting. I don't think it's like crazy.
Yeah, to me, this is Sebastian Shaw and Power and Decadence's set.
Yeah. Yep. And the other cards are just kind of floating around him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does make it fun. If you add the Nemesis set from Shadowcat, it does make it more enjoyable, more thematic. If you do
and
that.
You make her Hellfire as well, just because.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now her prawns are Hellfire, right?
Yeah.
I support the idea of using Nemesis kits as modular encounters every once in a while.
Yeah, there's some good ones for that. And that Shadowcat's Nemesis with this mixed together just feels like it just works. It's just good.
Yeah.
It's a good theme. Yeah. All right. So as a whole, Ryan, what do you think as a whole? And then give it a grade, like a letter grade.
As a whole, I really do like what's going on here. I like when you can get a modular encounter that is all unique cards. I do agree that I think Hellfire Pawn or Prawn could have more copies. But I do think that overall, let me think. I think Sebastian Shaw's an A+, and everything else around it, as we kind of talked about, being Power and Decadence is probably also like an A-. But I would say all the other ones, yeah, they do just kind of float around. I think you kind of average out to like a B+. But 2 of these cards are real strong, and I like what they're doing.
Yeah, nice. Bill, what do you think?
I think it's great. I like throwing it in. It's one of the better ones, I think. And it does even if you were to add this one as a +1, again, it doesn't stall the encounter deck, because in many instances, if he's villainous, she's villainous, she's going to be drawing an extra card as a boost if they attack or thwart or threat. The pawn surges, the power and decadence, extra attacks and things like that. So it just seems like, it's a nice little addition to any game that will make it more difficult, as we have found.
Yeah. Low footprint on the encounter deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I like these small ones that you can just add in and not feel like you're watering things down.
Yeah, me too. All right. Bill, did you realize that this was your final, we're going to put it in air quotes, Elite Minion tryout show?
Oh,
did you know
okay.
that? Yeah.
I just showed up for school. I didn't really pay attention that this is the last day.
We had, Lexicon, Scarlet Rhodey, and Maka, and Josh, and Darcy, and they came on in like little groupings, right? Like 4 or 5 shows at a time. And you came on and did all these back of the pack ones, right? Sauron and Crazy Gang. We spread it all out, but this is it. This is your final judging, and you've done pretty good, I want to say.
Well, thanks, Steve.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
And it's not like it's the last time we're going to see you. And hopefully this is not the last time we have Ryan on. I think we started to try to schedule something, but
I think we have. The forthcoming wave, the comics are real good, so I hope that I can make another appearance.
Yeah, we'll definitely have
the lore for this is we're looking at some good stuff coming up.
We definitely have you, I think, on the docket. So tell the people again where they can find your stuff.
So you would just go to YouTube, and the channel is The Masked Hero. I have my series Asgard versus the Universe, and then, as I stated before, I have usually a top 10 every Tuesday, and then a new player guide every Thursday. Going into the school year, I think it's going to be a little bit easier because I'm going to have my summer back, but the summer was a little difficult, and I ended up doing an entire marathon at the beginning of August where it was Thor against Ronan for 8 days in a row.
Oh my goodness.
That was a fun time.
Did you win?
I did, yeah. Behind the scenes, I started recording those in March so that I could have them ready for August, because I was just like, I just don't think I'm going to be able to play like a game every day. And I knew both my kids were going to be home for August, so I was like, I need to have something. But then I was like, I'm going to show my hand if I'm like, it's going to be every Tuesday and Thursday. It's like, well, so we know it's going to be like 8 or less episodes because you're not going to bleed into September. But either way, yeah, I love doing it. It's so much fun. And my only wish is just to have more time to make more content, because I love the community, and I loved showing up to Con of Heroes and people were like, you're the guy from the video. And I'm like, I've never had someone do that before.
Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah, you get good stuff out there. People should definitely go and watch. And Bill, you make content too, right?
Yeah.
Well,
occasionally.
How do they find your stuff? It's been a while since we let you plug anything, since we let you up from the sub basement.
Sure. You can go on YouTube. I've got playthrough videos there. You can go on Twitch, and I occasionally record there. Or you can catch me live with Steve on Tuesday evenings on the Critical Encounters Twitch. And I'm really enjoying that. Daniel joins us, as well as other minions from the community. So that's pretty much where you can catch me right now. Usually always lurking around the Discords, too.
Daniel's been fairly consistent too, so that was good. We did our whole campaign and things like that.
Oh, yeah,
so,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, go check out our Tuesday night live Twitch, or the videos stay on Twitch for like a month, but I usually put them back up on YouTube as well. Yeah. Well, this was fun, gentlemen. I think we are at a wrap. Thanks for coming on, both of you. And when we're done here, let's go see what happened. We can figure out what happened to Daniel. I think if we follow the smell, we might be able to locate him. But until then, folks, you can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook. You can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, Board Game Lawyer, and The Masked Hero. If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Sebastian Shaw, take us out.
Never raise a hand to your betters, serf.
I always wonder why do some characters have like, this is my first and last name, and other people are like, I'm Exodus, right? Like,
I have evolved beyond a full name.
Gotta cut a cut, foot loose, foot loose. Kick off your Sunday shoes.